Hello everyone. In this video, let's discuss how to write a program to find basic calculator. Given a string S representing a valid expression, implement a basic calculator to evaluate it and return the result of the evaluation. Note, you are not allowed to use any inbuilt function which evaluates strings as mathematical expressions such as eval. So here they have given example 1 space plus space 1. So the output is 2. 1 plus 1, I'll get my output value as 2. So the next example is 2 minus 1 space plus space 2. So when I evaluate this expression, I'll get my output value as 3, which is nothing but 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 plus 2, 3. So here the third example is S equal to 1 plus, in brackets even 4 plus 5 plus 2, closing bracket, minus 3 plus 6 plus 8. So when I try to evaluate this expression, first it will be evaluating this 4 plus 5 plus 2, which is 11. After that, this will be evaluated separately. 8 plus 6, 14. So this is 11. So I can say 1 plus 11 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. 9 plus 14, which is 23. I'll get my output value as 23. So here they have given certain constraints saying that 1 less than or equal to s dot length less than or equal to 3 into 10 power 5. And the string contains the digits like plus, minus, open bracket, closing bracket, and a space. And the input s will be a valid expression. Plus is not used as an unary expression, that is nothing but plus 1 and plus 2 plus 3. This is an invalid expression, but in the question they'll be giving only the valid expression. That is what I have mentioned here in the constraints. Minus could be used as an unary operation, that is minus 1, and minus of 2 plus 3 is valid. There will be no two consecutive operators in the input. Every number and running calculation will fit in a signed 32-bit integer. Okay. So this is what they have given in the question. Now let's take an example and discuss the logic of this particular program. So let us take this example and discuss the logic. So here when I try to iterate the given string, I might get 5 different types of characters. So one is nothing but open bracket, the number, operator, and closing bracket, and sometimes I might get space also. So here, to solve this particular problem, we have to use the data structure concept called stack. So let me take one empty stack here. Fine. So here I'll be taking two variables. The variable name is nothing but sum. So why am I having the variable called sum in the sense to return the final value? I'll initialize the value as 0. And I'm going to take one more variable called sign. If my sign value is plus 1, it is a positive operator, that is plus, and if I have minus 1, then it is nothing but the operator is negative, that is minus. So whenever you are iterating the given string, you might get 5 different characters. So whenever the open bracket has been received, you have to do certain operation. Similarly for closing bracket, similarly for operator, similarly for operand. Okay, let's discuss that one by one. So first, whenever you get the numbers, so you can check the condition. So if this particular character value is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 9. If that is the case, I might say that this character is an integer value. If that is the case, I have to convert into an integer. And remember one more thing, that this can be a single digit integer or 2-digit integer or 3-digit integer. So you have to write the logic to convert that into an integer value with respect to the number of digits. So for that, whenever you get an integer, so the condition is nothing but you can give if like s dot caret of I is greater than or equal to 0 and s dot caret of I is less than or equal to 0. So I have used the syntaxes of Java here. So if this is a character, okay, so 0 and 9. If this is a character which is an integer value, if that is the case, I have to convert into an integer value, and we have to make sure it should be either 2-digit or 3-digit, either or single digit. So for that, I will be taking a variable called num, and I'll give my initial value as 0. Okay, so I'll be taking a loop. After taking a loop, I'll be checking whether it is greater than or equal to 0. Caret of I greater than or equal to 0 and s dot caret of I less than or equal to 9. If this is the case, what I have to do, I have to convert that into integer first. So how come I can convert that into integer? In the sense, take that particular character, okay, after that subtract it with the character with 0. So for example, if I get my character value as 1, so character 1 minus character 0, you will get the value as 1, because the ASCII value of 1 is 49 and the ASCII value of 0 is 48. 49 minus 48, you will get the value called 1. Okay, that should be added with some value, right? So here num into 10, that value has to be stored in num. Okay, this is the logic. After that, I have to go for my next I value. So go for the next I value. So after this got over, iteration got over, what I have to do, this loop will get terminated when we are getting a character which is not an integer value. Okay, if the character which we have got is not an integer value, we have to perform certain operation. For that, we have to decrement my I value. We have to decrement my I value. So when we trace the code, you can understand it. After that, that has to be stored, added with the variable. So sum equal to sum plus, I'll multiply the num value with sign, because I might get positive value or negative value. So that will be multiplied and added with a variable called sum. So this is what we have to do whenever you are getting a integer value. I mean the character which is in the form of integer. Okay. And the rest of things I'll tell you. So first we have got open bracket. So whenever you are getting open bracket from the stack, let's start the iteration. So first I have got open bracket. Whenever you are getting an open bracket, it's a simple thing. You have to push some value into stack. We have to push some value into stack. So what is my some value? 0. So 0 will be pushed into the stack. Next step, what I have to do is push the sign value inside stack. So what is my sign value? My sign value is 1. That also will be inserted into my stack. After that, reset the sum value and sign value. Reset sum value to 0, or you can say reinitialize. So sum value will be initialized to 0 and sign value will be given as positive value, that is 1. Okay, so whenever I get number, so here I have got a character which is an integer value 1. If that is the case, I have to go for this condition. I have to check whether it is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 9. If that is the case, I have to convert this character 1 into an integer. So why am I taking a loop and trying to convert in the sense? Because I might get 2-digit numbers also. Here in this test case, you have not mentioned, but in the hidden test cases, there are high chances that the integer can be a 2-digit number also. But here it will be represented only in the form of characters. That is why I'll be taking a loop. So s dot caret of I have got the value called 1. That is greater than or equal to 0, yes. And that is less than or equal to 9, yes. So that caret of I value will be 1. 1 minus 0, I mean character 1 minus character 0, we will get the value called 1. Initial num value is 0. 0 into 10, that is 0. 0 plus 1, 1. After that, I value will be incremented. So from this index, it will be incremented to this index. Then when I go for the next while loop, when I check this condition becomes false. So here I've got plus. So whenever I'm getting plus, I have to perform certain operation, some other operation. So I'll come out of the while loop and then I'll decrement my I value. So from here to, it will be moved back to this index value itself. Then that will be added to the sum variable, because here I have got positive value 1. So that num value 1 is multiplied with sign value. Sign value is also 1. Num value is also 1. 1 into 1, 1. That will be added with the variable called sum. So sum value becomes 1 now. Then I'll go for the next iteration, because after this if condition got over, I have to go for the next iteration. Whenever I get plus, okay, what I have to do is I have to make my sign value as plus 1. So else if next case, you might get plus, or you can give s dot caret of I equal to plus, like this you can give. Okay, this is the code. So whenever you are getting plus, what I have to do, make your sign value as 1. What about minus? So minus also I might get, right? So whenever you are getting minus, what I have to do is like you can give else if yes cat of a equal to minus. If that is the case, you can give sign value as -1. That you can give. So here plus, whenever I get plus, sign value should be +1. Fine. Next I've got open bracket. Whenever I'm getting open bracket, what I have to do? Push the sum value into stack. What is my sum value? 1. 1 will be inserted into the stack. Done. Next step is insert my sign value into the stack. That is also done. After what I have to do? Reset my sum value to 0. Sum value will be 0 and sign value will be 1. Done. Next I've got 4. 4 is a integer. Whenever I'm getting integer, what I have to do? I have to check this condition. I have to perform all these operations. You will get num value as 4. After getting a num value as 4, 4 into sign value is 1. 4 into 1 is 4. 4 plus sum value. What was my previous sum value? 0. 4 plus 0, 4. The value 4 will be stored in the variable sum. Next I have got plus. So sign value has to be converted to 1. So it is already 1 only. There is no changes in that. Next I go for character called 5. So 5 is an integer value. So I have to convert that character 5 into integer using this logic. I will convert the value num will be 5. After that sign value is 1. 5 into 1 is 5. That should be added with sum value. Previous sum value was 4. 4 plus current num value 5. 4 plus 5 9. 9 will be stored in a variable called sum. Next I have to go for the next character plus. Sign value should be changed to 1. Fine. Then 2. So the character 2 will be converted as an integer 2 using this logic. After that num value is 2. Sign value is 1. 2 into 1 is 2. That should be added with sum value. 9 plus 2 which is 11. Fine. Then I have got closing bracket. So whenever I'm getting closing bracket, what I have to do is pop top element, and what I have to do? Multiply with sum. Okay. So in this case, what is the top element? 1. 1 will be multiplied with sum. I'll get my value as 11. So there will not be any change in my sum value. 1 into 11, that is 11 only. After that, I have popped this. Then pop top element, add with sum. Add with sum. So top element is 1. That will be added with sum. It becomes 12. Now we would have a doubt why we are first multiplying, then we are adding with sum. The reason is very simple. Whenever you are getting open bracket, first you are inserting sum value into stack. First you are inserting sum value. This is sum value and this is sign value. Again you have got open bracket. You have inserted sum value and you have got sign value. So on the top of the stack, first I have what I have sign value I have. So that sign value should be multiplied to sum. And the next sum value should be added to sum. This is the reason why we are doing these two operations whenever we are getting closing bracket. So after that what I have minus. Minus is a negative value. So what I have to do? Sign value should be given as -1. Now sign value will be -1. Done. Next I have got 3. So whenever I am getting 3, what I have to do? Convert into integer. So num value is 3. 3 into sign value is -1. So already I have got minus here. So this value should be subtracted with the previous sum. So now sign value is -1, num value is 3. 3 into -1 is -3. That should be added with sum value. Sum value is 12. 12 minus 3, it becomes 9. So the expression has been evaluated properly. Now I have got closing bracket. Whenever I am getting closing bracket, what I have to do? First I have to pop the top element. This is a sign value. So I have to multiply with sum. 9 into 1 is 9. Fine. Then pop it. Then pop the top element. What is the top element? 0. 0 is sum value. No? That 0 should be added with the sum value. 9 plus 0 is 9 only. Done. Then pop it. Next plus. Plus is an operator. So sign value should be changed as +1. Done. Next one is open bracket. Whenever I am getting open bracket, insert my sum value into the stack first and then sign value into the stack. Sum value is 9. Sign value is 1. I have inserted. After that reset my sum value to 0 and my sign value is +1. Done. Next I have got the number called 6. So convert the character 6 into an integer 6 and the num value 6 will be multiplied sign value 6. That should be added with sum. Sum value is 0. 0 plus 6 is 6. Done. Next is plus. Whenever I am getting plus, what I have to do? Just make my sign value as +1. Done. Go for next character 8. So 8 is a character, convert into integer. Then num value will be 8. So num into sign value is +1. 8 into 1 is 8. 8 plus sum value is 6 plus 8 is 14. Now sum value becomes 14. The last character we have got is closing bracket. Whenever I'm getting closing bracket, pop the top element. This is sign value. So multiply the sign value with sum, which becomes 14. Fine. Then pop the top element 9. 9 is sum value. So you have to add that sum value to this particular variable sum. 14 plus 9 is 23. That's all. So I don't have any other further character. Return my sum value. What is my sum value? My sum value is 23. This 23 will be returned to the main function. This is the final answer. This is the logic of the program. Now let's try to implement this logic as a program. So here I am using Java language to code the program. First, what I have to do? I have to take a stack. In stack I am going to store only integer values, so I will give integer. I am going to give the stack name stack itself. New stack of integer. Fine. Now what I am going to do? I am going to take two variables. So sum value initially I am going to give it as 0, and my sign value I am going to give it as +1. I will take my loop and I will start the iteration. Int I equal to 0, I less than s dot length I plus plus. Fine. So while I am iterating, first if I get a character which is an integer value, further what condition I have to give? S dot caret of I greater than or equal to 0 and s dot caret of I less than or equal to 9. If this is the case, what I have to do is I have to take a while loop and then I have to check s dot caret of I greater than or equal to 0 and s dot caret of I less than or equal to 9. If this is the case, I will be taking a variable called num. So here I will be declaring a variable num. I will initialize the value as 0. So num is equal to num into 10 plus s dot caret of I. The particular character will be subtracted with 0 to get the corresponding integer value of that character. After that, I value will be incremented. Then the loop will be checked again. So once the condition becomes false, so what I have to do? I have to decrement my I value so that I can continue for further operation. After that, the num value should be added to sum. So sum equal to sum plus num into sign value. That's all. So whenever I am getting a character which is an integer value, these are the things I have to do. What if I get the character as plus? If I get the character as plus, nothing I have to do, just change my sign value as +1. What if I get a negative value, just minus? Caret of I equal to minus. This is the case, just change your sign value as -1. Finally, what if I have open bracket? This condition we have to check, right? S dot caret of I equal to open bracket. So whenever we are getting open bracket, what I have to do? We have to do 4 steps. That is, I have to push my sum value into stack first, then I have to push my sign value into stack. After that, sum value should be reinitialized to 0 and sign value also has to be initialized to 1. Fine. Finally, s dot caret of I equal to closing bracket. Whenever I am doing closing bracket, what I have to do? First, I have to take the topmost element of the stack and that should be multiplied with sum. So stack dot, I can use a function called peek to get the top element of the stack. After that, I have to delete that. So I can give stack dot pop. After that, I have to pop one more top element that has to be added with sum. So sum equal to sum plus stack dot peek. I have taken the top element, added with the sum, and then I can pop the top element. That's all. So that's how you can give else, or if you ignore also, that doesn't matter, because whenever you're getting a space, what you have to do, you have to go for next character. So whenever I'm getting a space, I'm not performing any operation, so automatically it goes for the next iteration of the string. Finally, what I have to do, I have to return my sum value. So once this for loop got over, I have to return my sum value. That's all. Let's run the code now. Okay, there is a string index out of bound exception. Okay, so when I can get string index out of bound exception is, okay, here itself they have mentioned. So the logic is very simple. After reaching the last character, I might try to go for the next character, which is nothing but string index out of bound exception. For example, here this is an integer value. Let's consider this is a 2-digit integer. 1 9 I have. After that, I might go for next character to concatenate to become a 3-digit integer. But actually, we have only 2-digit integer. That is nothing but end of the string. So for that, I have to write one condition. The condition is s dot length is greater than I. If s dot length is greater than I can go inside this. If s dot length is not greater than I can come out of the loop. That is the error we have got. Let's run the code now. Okay, we have got wrong answer. We'll check what is the wrong answer. So I have taken a stack. I am iterating the for loop and I am checking the character whether it is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 9. I'm trying to convert it into an integer. Here I am checking length value is greater than I. It's greater than I, and okay, I have missed expression character. I mean double quotes. That is why I have got some wrong answer. Let's run the code now. Yeah, it is accepted. Let's submit the code. As it passes the test cases. That's all.